5 reasons to buy a BMW G310R. Number 1 is the build quality. Overall, the build quality is really good, especially considering its price point. Things like the front shock, the quality of the bodywork, all the nuts and bolts are very typical of BMW, and these indicators are identical to the ones found on the R1250 RS. In general, it's surprisingly well built for the price. Number 2 is the overall styling of the bike. Even in this base black colour, which is a zero cost option, it looks very nice. It's kind of squat and sporty looking. Plus, I like little details like the LED strip at the front, which is very bright and easily seen. Number 3 is the sound and feel of the engine. It's a 313cc single cylinder. It kicks out 34 brake horsepower. It revs up to about 10,000 revs. At lower revs it does sound a bit weedy, but when revved it makes quite a pleasant noise. It's also a very enthusiastic engine. It really does like to be revved. Number 4 is the seat. When I first got on the bike I felt a bit pushed in at the back, but it's actually extremely comfortable, which is surprising for this price point. It actually puts my VFR to shame. Number 5 is the suspension, and this one really surprised me. Okay, when you're going very slowly, it's a very light bike, you do bounce around, which is to be expected. However, when you get on the move and you're going through some twisty back roads, it's extremely good. It soaks up bumps and gives the bike a really planted feel. Plus, it's very flickable. All in the suspension gives you a really nice sporty feeling. 5 reasons not to buy a BMW G310R. Number 1 is the lack of power from the engine. It develops 34 brake horsepower, 25 kilowatt with 28 newton meters of torque. It's not that bad, but that's significantly less than the maximum you can have on an A2 bike. And as a result, overtaking can be a struggle. It's really not suitable for motorway speeds, though the claimed top speed is 88 miles an hour. You'll struggle to get there. And this consigns the bike to town use or small B-road use. Number 2 is the brakes. The discs are a reasonable size, but the bike doesn't have a huge amount of stopping power, nor does it have a lot of feel through the brakes. It is actually possible to get into trouble with a bit of spirited riding because the brakes are not as effective as you'd expect. Number 2 is the amount of vibration the bike generates. You get an awful lot of vibration up through the handlebars and through the seat. It's fine if you're just poodling around town on a short commute, but if you're going to go any great distance or do a blast down B roads, you'll really notice it. It becomes uncomfortable and you get numb hands quite quickly. And number 4 is the price. The bike is £5,190 new. Now that doesn't sound too bad, but for what is essentially a 125cc on steroids, what you're really paying for is the BMW badge, because it's a bike with limited uses. Number 5 is there are some really cheap bits. For example, the wheels, they look okay, but on the edge here there's a little ridge and it just makes it look like the wheels are pressed cheaply. As you can see from this close-up, the front pegs look really nice. However, when you look at the rear pegs, they also look very cheaply made. Plus, I'm not a fan of this exhaust.